Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness. This evening we start with the afternoon air becoming cooler after a fair amount of rain passing through New York City. And in the cool afternoon air, a young woman sits at a tea shop looking very out of place considering her attire, dirty clothes, ratty clothes. Hair that looks like it's been a day or two since it's been washed. But she sits and she waits as she's had some communication with someone she's heard in her head almost since the point that she woke up, in a manner of speaking. We start the scene with Reggie taking a sip from the cool iced tea and just waiting.
Few minutes go by slowly, and a figure just comes through the door. She does not look entirely happy or relaxed, and a wave of heat comes in her wake. And Victoria is just looking around, unsure what she's looking for.
The young woman sits and she can sort of feel the heat come through the door, and a few times she remembered when she inadvertently caught the ire of the other person on the other side of the pendant that she wears. She remembered feeling the heat at that point, and she just taps into it, and she expresses what she can see from her end. And looking around, she sweeps over Victoria once at the door. And
Sorry. It doesn't take long for Victoria to actually detect things that she has ratted. That artifact does contain a bit of her, so she just approaches the ratty girl and she sits down in front of her without a word, simply staring quite hard at her.
The young woman sort of sinks in the chair a bit, as looking a bit mousy, as Victoria sort of stares her down, and it doesn't take long for Reggie's eyes to sort of avert away from her as she folds her hands into her lap and hunches her shoulders slightly, lowering her head.
No. Victoria whispers weird, strange, dead words, and she's actually summoning, doing a time spell, because she wants to know exactly and see exactly what happened to Locke. She wants to know why she's a new body, and she's certainly not happy. Since this is a somewhat complex spell, she's going to actually use quintessence, 2 points, to lower the difficulties from 6 to 4. Just let me get the dice. Rolling. 4. Successes. So she gets a pretty good, clear view of what might have happened, if you want to describe the means of death from before.
Sure. Victoria is taken back to about a little over a month and a half ago, with Locke walking around Budapest, enjoying the sights, spending nights in a rented room reading over old books that she had collected. And then she witnesses a sort of street festival, and images of the young girl that sits before her wearing a very almost stereotypical backpacker's outfit, cargo pants, red shirt and a thick rucksack, walking around. And then the screams and gunfires and flashes of violence can be seen as gunmen descend on the festival, laying waste to the crowds of people. And then Constance Locke hovering over the woman she sees before her now, as the woman is literally bleeding to death, crying, gasping, and invoking her powers. Locke at that point begins to heal her. It's at that point that Locke is attacked from behind, from an unseen source at first, brutally savaged by several machine guns at once, falling onto the woman to protect her. And then Locke's body ceasing to move, breath no longer coming forth. She sort of cradles Reggie's body slightly, and the metaphysical shift seems to take forever, and there is a certain level of resistance from it, as if the being inside Constance's body did not want to take this poor woman, as she did, but in the end, the fear of the abyss won out, and Zuriel transferred over. And it was at that point that one of the assailants grabbed a hold of Reggie almost the moment that she came to and began to siphon that stuff that makes up the spiritual body of the demon out of her, causing her a great amount of pain, and leaving behind massive burn marks upon her arms as this other demon seems to try and drain her dry of her essence. And if not for the tormented abilities of the scourges, the other demon probably would have taken her fully. And at that point, images of a lost and broken individual with no memory of the infernal, and the trauma so great that the memory of the host almost completely wiped. Instinctually, the person known as Reggie makes her way back across countries with almost no sleep, no pause, only running on instinct to try and get home.
Victoria looks shaken for a moment. Then she pauses, takes a deep breath, and looks at the other girl. I know you had no part in her death, so I will not bring my vengeance upon you. I see you've traveled long and you are weary. I can send you to those as you, if you haven't met them already.
I've met some of them, but I'd rather distance myself from them.
Why?
They frighten me.
They are like you. You are as scared of them as they are of you. But I am not here to pass your judgment or tell you how to live your life. I met the person you once were.
She sort of grimaces at that. Seems to make her very uncomfortable talking about who came before.
I have little to offer to you, I'm afraid. I can give you peace of mind. I will not tend to harm you for thinking you took her away from me. I know it's part of what happens to you. You're not the first I've lost like this. And there, now you met me. Is there anything else I can do for you?
She seems to sort of chew on her lip as she scrunches the material at the bottom of her shirt, almost nervously. She'll look up at Victoria, and there is a hint that on some level Reggie recognizes her and has a affinity for her that's left over, but it's almost painful to reach into.
I can see it hurts you to see me and look at me, and my connection was to the previous one. It hurts me just as badly. So I think maybe it's for the best. I will stay out of your life and you'll stay out of mine.
I don't know if that's what I want particularly. It's just, I know there's a connection there. I know that whatever happened before meant a lot, but trying to reach over.
You are not her. You will never be her. And it's not fair for you or for me to hold you to that. And each time a person I love dies, a little bit of my soul is gone. And it's not fair for either to hope you will take a place. It just is not fair. And it's not fair for you to expect that you are somehow obliged, forced to live up to the friendship your other self have. Just no. I cannot take those memories away from you because I suspect they are part of whatever animates you now. But the amulet, the little brass angel that you have, give it back to me and my mind will no longer intrude in yours. And you'll not have to hear my thoughts.
Reggie swallows hard at that point as she pulls the TAS angel out and holds it in her hand, clutching it tightly. And turns away slightly from Victoria as she's milling it about in her mind. And Victoria can easily feel the indecision, as it seems to be almost a security net for her in some way.
I am not your friend. I don't even know you. And I am not a nice person. You don't want to be connected to my mind. You've tasted my mind already, and you've seen I am hardly nice or caring or helpful. This is for your own sake.
And yet when I hear you in my mind, it somehow makes me happy.
Those are remnants, that's phantom pain.
She'll take the necklace and lift it over her head and hold the item in her hand.
Victoria holds the hand for it.
She kind of chuckles slightly. The only thing that's made me safe since I woke up.
It didn't make you safe. I wasn't there to protect you. I wasn't there to help you. I was there to yell at you because, for some reason, I thought that if I screamed at you hard enough, I would have luck back.
She very reluctantly holds out her hand, but when she does, she looks at Victoria. I don't have much that makes me feel secure.
This will not make you secure. This will just be a channel for my anger and my sorrow and my fury and my loss. This item was carved out of love and it was made out of friendship. And now, when you take that away, what do you have? You have darkness, and you have anger, and you have my worst. This will not at all make you safe. I cannot take it away from you by force. But make no mistake, this wasn't yours to begin with. I can help you. Here. Victoria pulls a card from her pocket and hands it to her. If you need a place to sleep, eat, get new clothes, just go there.
And she waves her hand, I've been getting that ever since I got back into the city. Everybody wants to help me. Everybody wants to shelter me.
I don't. I'm doing this out of my last remnant of friendship. I'm not your friend. You are not mine.
If I wanted to try and see if there's a connection there, you wouldn't let me, would you?
Sorry?
If I wanted to see if there could be a connection, you wouldn't let me now, would you?
It's not a matter of connection. I do not know you. I knew a part of you, yes, but no longer.
She looks at the pendant and holds it up. It's the only connection I have to what I am now, I suppose, that's meant anything to me.
That is a connection to who you once were, and you're not that person anymore. You have to let go. It will drive you insane if you think you have to live up to who you once were. And it's not fair for you or fair for anyone.
She takes the pendant and hands it over to Victoria, but her fingers don't let go right away as she almost shakes when she does it.
Victoria patiently waits until she has let him go and just steadily looks at her. I know it's hard, and in a way, this is the final breath of who you once were. But I have to move on. So do you. I cannot bring Locke back anymore, not without destroying you and denying your existence. And that is something that even I don't want to do. It's called It's Not Mine to Me. Maybe it is for the best. No longer haunted by your own past, and now you're free to make your own future.
And
for all that's worth.
What if I decide I want to see you again?
Why would you want to see me again?
Because I can feel the desire there from
That is the
what was before. It's not a phantom. She actually looks fairly stern at that point as she looks up, and there are a few tears welling up in the corner of her eyes.
You know my preferred song, my favorite tea blend, what my hair looks like when I get up in the morning.
No.
Then it is phantom. It's part of you that remembers me, but it's just a memory. Look, if you really must see, I sometimes am at the New York University, but go there at your own peril, and don't if you really like coffee, because I have my defenses on.
I don't particularly care for coffee. I don't know why, but all I want to do is drink tea.
Do you remember Locke's lover?
She closes her eyes for a moment and tries to think, and she grimaces somewhat. I just remember nighttime. Nothing more.
So she hasn't been told yet. I can do a final kindness to you. I can, if whatever part of Locke is still there wants me to. I can let her know, so she doesn't wait for you in vain.
Just let them know that whatever part of me this other person is, that I'm
I'll
okay now.
let her make that decision. I will let her know, and if you want me to, I'll give her a way to contact you.
Somehow I get the feeling that if she wants to, she can find me.
But if she doesn't know what you look like, she was a children of the night, one of the children of the night, and I don't think that she can solve me. I wouldn't be able to find her either myself had you not come to me first.
For whatever part of me was locked before, I trust you. Make the judgment you think that needs to be made.
I'm sorry. I wish there could be a happy ending to this, but the endings are not for people like me.
Doesn't seem good endings are for anybody.
I like to think otherwise and hope otherwise. I should be going now. The least I rub off on you, the better for you. I wouldn't want you to have the ending Locke had. The part of me still believes I had to do something. I had something to do with that. Tori gets up, and after a brief hesitation, she just will
Reggie's going to catch her hand just before she walks away, and
Victoria closes
despite the smell, she's gonna, because she probably doesn't smell that great at the moment. She smells like someone who's been living off the land for the past few days, but she just hugs Victoria tightly.
Tori goes somewhat stiff, but she just gives her a few taps on the back and just says, people already want to take care of you. You'll be fine.
Whatever it's worth, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's as much as yours as mine. I
She'll
should be
just
there. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep you safe.
she'll step back and just take the cup that she had, disposable cup, and turn from Victoria and just grab her rucksack and walk out.
Tori takes a final look to the artifact that she crafted with so much care and so much effort, and she shoves it into her pocket and right after takes her own exit.